Recently, I came across a video where it was a guy approaching a stranger on the street, asking if he raps, offering to do a music video, and essentially using that very YouTube video that they made to promote the music video that they made. While that video was really fun to watch, it's great entertainment, it's actually complete bullshit. Because that's not how new rappers are created. That's not how any new musician is created. And so today, I'm creating a new rapper to prove that growing in this industry, in this career, is not luck. And the rapper I'm creating is me. It's gonna be me. Without much smoke and mirrors, right? I'm just going to show you everything that I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the entire process of how we used to launch musicians on Soyuz Music to make sure that you can just follow along and you can just do the same things I do, and also to kind of show you that my advice that I give on this channel isn't bullshit. So I'm gonna follow along with it. That's about the plan. So let's go to the Miro board, my favorite Miro board. I love Miro boards, and I'm just gonna show you how a label would actually launch a new musician, and I'm gonna apply it all in regards to myself. Okay, so we're back inside, we're back at the Miro board. God, I love Miro boards. So this is basically a plan for blowing up a new artist that we used to follow on Soyuz Music. This first stage would be artist development, the artist development department. And then the stages after this, which I won't go into now, is the stages of actually rolling out single or rolling out a project, which is advanced stuff. First, I want to cover this because for myself, I will be following a trimmed down version of the full, almost 3-hour course I have in that WOP community that you can click the link down below, go ahead and watch. The reason I'm making this video is to follow my own advice and essentially show you that it's not bullshit, okay? But to make this not a 3-hour video, to fit this video in like 30 minutes, I'm following a trip down version. If you like it as we go along and you want to work on any of these points for yourself, just join the WOP community below and I'll help you get it done. So the goal is to blow up as an artist, as a recording and performing artist in 2025, 2026. Now, the blow up in question is currently 10K monthly listeners. If you're an older viewer of the channel, you would know that I initially wanted to do this around May this year, but I figured out I may as well do it properly. Like, there's a lot that goes into this. Back then, my channel was really small, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was gonna totally like wing it and do it in a half-assed way. But then I realized that I'm not doing it in a half-assed way, I'm doing it the proper way because I want to show you the real thing. And so I spent 3 months actually doing all this and planning it out to now deliver the complete experience of how a label would develop a new artist. The second part of the goal is to work with a budget of almost none. And when I say almost none, I really mean I will be looking to acquire some features. I will be spending money on beats. I will be spending money on engineering because I'm not good enough of an engineer to like mix and master professionally for vocals. I can mix and master beats, but vocals, I don't fucking know how to do it well. So I will be spending money. Now, the difference is I won't be spending like tens and not even thousands of dollars. This will probably all be around the budget of like under $3,000 throughout the year. Most of it being spent on music, actually creating the music, and whatever isn't spent on music, I'll only be buying features. Features will be the only paid promotion that I'll be most actively doing. But there might be some other things. I might pay for other types of promo. We'll get to that when we get to that. Another part of this thing, as we're getting started, that I want to let you know, is that the kind of important part I'm looking for here on purpose is I want to target the underground. And I'll make this bigger. I want to target the underground for a very specific reason. When a person tries to go mainstream too early, they often lose a big foundation.
There is a big risk if you blow up into the mainstream, or I want to say blow up too far. There is real risk of an artist becoming a one-hit wonder. There is real risk of a person like blowing up and then falling off. It happens all the time. I see it in the industry. As an insider, I know that this is just a risk that people have to contend with. And so I'm going to target the underground first to try and establish a cult fan base and a cult following in whatever numbers, obviously, hopefully large. And then, if I feel comfortable enough in the underground and with how things are going, I might try and target the mainstream for the rest of the challenge, just see how it goes. Also, breaking from underground to mainstream is just naturally more expensive. So we'll talk about it when we get there. Right now, I'm not even gonna fucking try to target like the masses, essentially, okay? And you'll see what I'm talking about in this video. Going underground first. The first thing I wanted and needed to do is, of course, find a gap to position myself in. For that, I am targeting Russia and the Russian speaking market because I know the market really, really well. And I just have a great understanding of the meta ways. I just made a video on like dominant and dominated strategies. I know a lot of really fucking dominating strategies for the Russian market. So hopefully, you're gonna see them come into play in future videos as I post updates. Or as you follow along, I'll post links to my Spotify and my social media. You'll get to see it all unfold live, and you'll get to see me essentially, walk the walk right alongside with you. Now, finding a gap to position is important for a few reasons. First of all, why would I want to be just another someone else? Say I know there are people doing gangster rap. Say I know there are people doing like the more traditional Russian rap. Say I know there are people doing like auto-tune rap. Why would I want to be just another clone of somebody else? I don't want to do that. I want to stand out. I want to give myself the most chances that I can possibly give myself and stack every little odd in my advantage. And the easiest early way to do that is to find a sound and the kind of aesthetic that doesn't really exist yet. And for that, I'm choosing futuristic glow. When a person is doing this for themselves, I suggest a bunch of things when I explain this fully. This is like 20, 30 minutes of just explaining this part. But when you try to find a new sound, you always either combine two things, or you revive something old, or you like export or import a sound from somewhere else, or you change something up like the drums. There's a bunch of ways to do this. I won't go into it now. The reason I picked futuristic glow for myself is because A, I love those beats, they're high energy, I like that type of music, and B, because I know for a fact that Russia has never had anything like this. I just know this from knowing the market really well, okay? I know for a fact that Russia has never had futuristic glow ever. And so there's a very good chance of me being the first person to do this and to come up with a new sound. If you think about like Pop Smoke, he came up with a new sound. You think about Yeet, he came up with a new sound. A lot of artists that actually become notable come up with a sound that wasn't previously heard much before. And this is a great, great way to do, a great, great thing to do to position yourself very strongly, very early on, before you even drop anything. And so that's what I'm doing. Targeting a very specific niche, let's say, and I'm just going with futuristic glow because I know it's unique. Second is right away I found a list of potential features, and my list of potential features is over 100 artists. There are big artists, like this is Platina, this is Viper Gang, they're pretty big right now. Melon Music, pretty much all of Melon Music, they're pretty big right now. This is Unky, pretty big right now. But there are also artists much, much closer to my level, aka right now, level 0. And there are artists a few steps above my level, like other artists in the underground, such as Prescription Gang. There are just a whole ton of artists that I now have in a literal Excel spreadsheet that I can reach out to and contact without the whole thing becoming a mess. It makes it easy to keep track of who I'm trying to get to know, who I'm trying to establish good relationships with, and who I'm trying to like secure collaborations with, either paid or unpaid. This is like niche info, but the Russian market, like you don't just pay for features like you do in America a lot of the time, because for these guys, relationship building is often more important than the money. So it's not like, oh yeah, I pay for a feature and that's it. There will be a lot of relationship building involved in my case, as should be your case, because if you can befriend everybody else who's doing this with you, you can create and set yourself up to create win-win situations. If you haven't yet watched my video on game theory, you definitely need to go to my channel and watch my video on game theory and creating win-win situations, because, well, that's just multiplying money and multiplying fame for everybody involved. So I know who I'm going to be trying to work with, essentially. The next thing, based on the previous two steps, is I actually identified my target audience. So this is Platina. I went to like his Instagram page. I went to all their Instagram pages, and I just looked at people tagging them, and I tried to understand who their fan is. This is just a random girl, one of Platina's fans, and I built a mental image, a mental portrait of sorts of what kind of people are they? Are they mostly guys? Are they mostly girls? If they're guys and girls, what are they probably into? What do they like? Do they probably dislike? I want to know that to exponentially increase my chances of serving a specific audience. Because if you try to serve everybody, you end up serving no one at all. And if you try to serve, a very specific niche, at least that very specific niche will like you a lot. That's kind of the principle being followed here. When I get to these stages, I often see a lot of people say, oh, this is bullshit. You just have to be yourself. Okay, this video series literally exists to show that you either do things properly or you just be yourself and fucking go nowhere. The real reason is you still need to be yourself. If you fake things really at all, you can't be fake, because if you're fake, people will catch on really quick. You will fall off faster than CJ after Whoopty. Everybody realized he's fake, and nobody wants to like keep up with that anymore. As soon as it came out that 6ix9ine is a fake gangster, nobody wanted to really give a shit anymore, okay? So you have to be real. But this is like a prism. Okay, so when you are around your friends, where you're with your buddies, essentially, right? You behave a certain type of way. When you are around your family, like at the family table, this is family table, you behave a totally other type of way. When you are with your loved ones, like your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you behave differently to these two ways. And the whole point of doing much of this is to only show people one or two sides of you that they can stick with. Because if you show people too much of yourself, if you just be yourself without a plan, they'll get confused and they will leave, because people know characters. This is how things work online. Everybody you know online is a character. Now, them being a character doesn't mean that they're fake, but it means you know them in a specific way. And if you see them act in a different way to the way you're used to, your like worldview will shatter. It's like broken dreams. It's like, imagine you hold somebody in really, really high regard, and then you meet them and they're a complete asshole, and they like spit in your drink and refuse a photo with you, and their security beats you up. It's a shattering experience. It's a bad experience. And a lot of people, by just trying to be themselves, they give fans a fucking terrible experience. People want to know you the way they know you. And that's why we're really doing this. Okay? Now, the next thing is I developed a unique sound. I didn't go too deep, okay? I just took elements of futuristic glow and I kind of imagined sounding a little bit like T-Pain from 2010, a little bit like Young Thug maybe, and just to break the formula apart, add elements of like Bronx drill. How does this work? Well, I'll just show you.
Так хотел бы быть с тобой подольше, подольше, но судьба убила нас. Мне так по кайфу было, когда ты звонишь мне, сосешь мне, напишу тебе what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up. Я напишу тебе what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up. Я напишу тебе what's up.
All this really does is create a unique flavor. Because maybe you heard T-Pain on Glow Beats. Maybe you heard something similar to Chief Keef on Glow Beats. But I guarantee you, you have not heard what I just did on Glow Beats. I literally guarantee you that's never been done before, or at least not by anybody notable. That's why I'm doing it. Some people, again, they have an objection and say, oh, it's biting, it's biting. No, bro, it's branding. If biting was an actual concern, these Bronx guys wouldn't be allowed to rap on drill beats because drill is from the UK. You know, that would be fucking ridiculous. So don't worry about biting or anything. You're blending, okay? You're creating something out of something else. Literally like mixing a potion. Literally like making a soup. Just trying to create something new by combining elements that already exist. And I think in my case, I did pretty well. I unironically reckon the song is kind of banger. It has some banging potential. Next, of course, I developed my visuals. And this is the most fun and honestly my favorite part of helping artists is helping them develop their visuals and giving them these directions. For my personal self, I kind of decided to go with 2010 Young Money. Plus kind of go with the Y3K aesthetic. Plus kinda add gaming and anime into the mix because I love gaming and anime. I'm into that stuff a lot, and you know, I enjoy that stuff a lot. And so I just created a little mood board basically of a bunch of things I want to look. And I took some pictures in front of a white wall. I actually put together some outfits. I took some real pictures. But I'm actually working with a challenge here in the fact that I live in a very remote French village, 2 hours away from Paris, and there is nothing good out around here. Okay? There is no good picture that I want to take in this environment, in this type of situation. It's a real restriction that I had to deal with, and for a long time I was like, what the fuck do I even do? And so I decided to use the power of AI to enhance my pictures a little bit. So I'll show you now. These aren't generated. This is like a real picture of me. But then with AI, it's styled into something cooler. I saw a few of these AI trends around Instagram, and I was like, wow, that's pretty sick, you know? So these are real pics of me edited to have something cool. This is me, you know, just pictures in front of a plain white wall in my room. And then I was like, I gotta make these better some way. And so I did all this type of nerd shit. And I think it's pretty cool. So if you want to know what AI it is and everything, you know what to do, you know, man. Link down below. I'm never gonna get tired of saying this. And as a little bonus, I'll show you the cover art I made for my fucking single release. And if you know what this is, leave a comment down below. Let's see how many of us there are. Because if you know what this is a direct reference to, you're a fucking Chad. I will love your comment and I will appreciate you a lot. The whole thing is, in fact, as you noticed by now, a bit of a joke. I'm not taking this too seriously, and neither should you. Neither should anybody. This makes it really, really easy because most of these restrictions, they're just in your own head, bro. Just don't worry about it. Nobody cares. Okay? And I made fresh social media that I'll leave links to down below. You can go check it out if I started posting already. I plan to start posting first week of October, but I'm not sure when exactly this video is coming out, so you can go take a look, see what's out there. I've probably posted a few bits of content by now. Fresh social media for two specific reasons. When you're new to the algorithm gives you a fresh chance. You're not burdened by old data that you've been feeding it. And also, so my friends and relatives don't fucking see it. I don't want my friends and relatives seeing me like spam content every day, you know? So I just created separate pages and I'm gonna be posting short form content there. And the final step is to go. The single, as I'm making this video, is already out on Spotify. The content I'll probably film today or tomorrow, and it's just go. It's really not that fucking complicated. I will make update videos throughout the journey. I will, fill you in. You can also follow along on these social media if you want. I'm gonna ask you, like, legitimately ask you to not follow unless you're actually into the music, because that might fuck me up a little bit, So just go into those pages and check them out from time to time if you want to, but don't follow unless you actually vibe with the music as well, because I don't want anything to mess up the algorithms. And if you want a full version of this, of everything I just said, in like 3-hour length, in great detail, the original board is actually much bigger than this board. There's a lot more going on because I have like 20-30 minutes to talk about each little aspect. Then, yeah, you know what to fucking do. And if you like this video, be sure to watch this video next.